Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great day. So, and I hope everything is going on well for you. I'll just get a few things out of the way just to see my sound. Since I'm still new to this, so to give you an update on what's actually going on. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a great day. Perfect. The sound is okay. Everything is fine, and we can now start. So I won't waste so much of your time. I will just keep monitoring my. All right, it's something to monitor my sound here. To monitor the sound and to monitor the comments that you have to say, and to monitor my video. This should be fine. All right. Alright. Okay, yeah, I think that's okay. Alright, it's 3 days to the election as we speak, and I have some good news for change-seeking Ugandans out there. And for those of you, our brothers and sisters that are following Ugandan politics from different parts of the world, you see what Uganda is creating today is a blueprint on how to fight dictatorships. Is a blueprint on how to topple African strongmen and tyrants in one way or the other. I know very many brothers and sisters from different parts of Africa are actually monitoring the situation keenly, and they are taking notes on how to fight governments that are not working in the interest of people, and they are really paying attention, especially on the Ugandan experiment that is under Bobi Wine. Now, I hope my sound is fine. Now, today I want to talk about like 3 or 4 issues. Then some other issues I'll address them in my other videos if I have time, maybe. Now, I'm going to talk about Bobi Wine's interview that he had today with one of the television stations in Uganda. Then I'm going to talk about the Facebook ban of NRM-leaning accounts and what it means. And then I'll also talk about the words of Wole Soyinka, a renowned linguist and author who comes from Nigeria, what he actually said about Bobi Wine. So, okay, I'll look into that later. Anyway, then if any of you have something you have to say in the comments, I'll be monitoring the comments, and I will be replying to whatever you have to say. There's something that is flickering in my video. I think it's something to do with my software, but please bear with that. We are trying to make everything much better. So I'll just say hello to a few people here, and then I start off. Nicholas Mawadu, Walacho Eric, Rachel Chemtai, Amumbezi Diana, Rachel Kawesi, Jog Peters from Germany, Agoma Jacqueline, Takala Martin, Dedia Drogba, all right, Nasali Helen, and Francis Okalo. All right, so today Bobi Wine had, to start off very fast now, Bobi Wine had an interview on one of the television stations in Uganda known as NBS. Now, we understand that, of course, Mr. Museveni and his group of propagandists, they have put the journalists, under a lot of pressure. They have put journalists under a lot of pressure to not to host Bobi Wine, number 1. Number 2, not to play anything to deal with Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine had his campaign songs, he had his campaign manifesto and everything. No radio station or TV station was accepted to play any ad that was promoting Bobi Wine's presidency. It has just been accepted right now in the few weeks to the elections after the pressure that has been exerted onto the Ugandan government by the Western countries and America that are funding Museveni and his cronies. Now today, Bobi Wine has had another interview. I think one of his last interview on this television station. The next interview he will be having, it will be an interview when he is president, and maybe they will be hosting him as president. But this is what happened. So in the morning, these guys come already set. There is this gentleman called Simon, and Simon is renowned very well. For those of you who are on YouTube, you'll see a clip that went viral where Simon was asking someone, "Why are you gay?" So if you search that clip on YouTube, you will find it. So Simon had his viral moment, on that clip that said, "Why are you gay?" And now he thought that he would use the same moment on Bobi Wine to get that kind of viral moment like he had, the previous time. So I will play you the clip where Simon asks Bobi Wine on the issues of homosexuality as well as on the issues of being funded by foreigners. You see, let me first play that clip actually before I give my take on this issue and why these people are really trying to, they have run out of ideas and all they have to do is to try to blackmail and try to make sure they bring Bobi Wine down. So let us hear something from the clip now.
What is your relationship with homosexuals like the president alleges and foreigners?
Well, that is nonsense. It is a shame. It is really disrespectful to be talking to a married man who is married to a woman who you know. You continue. I feel insulted to be drawn in sexual talk with whoever when we have a few hours to lead to an election. General Museveni has always tried to paint us with any negativity, with violence and with whatever. He cannot convince people anymore. Okay? You know I'm a married man. You know I'm a culture man that would rather come to this national TV and use these last minutes to talk about how best we are intending to peacefully, constitutionally, and non-violently liberate ourselves. But you're driving us into sexual talk, which to me, I find very diversionary, okay? We are being supported by Ugandans. General Museveni can talk about whatever. I saw him today trying to change the narrative, trying to be a younger person, etc. Why? Because he does not have anything more to tell Ugandans. I am telling Ugandans that we are a 21st century generation that need 21st century solutions. I'm telling people, which already they know, that we want to bring back the rule of law and respect for the rights of the citizens. We want to end arbitrary arrests. As we speak right now, Nubian Lee, Eddie Mutwe, and more than 100 other of our supporters are in jail for committing no crime. You are not talking about them. You are asking me about homosexuals. Come on, Simon. Don't be one of the journalists that are being used to divert the pain of the people of Uganda by bringing around nonsense other than talking about sense and other than bringing the pain of Ugandans on the forefront.
Finally,
come on, Simon. Don't be one of the journalists that are being used.
Sorry. So, guys, that is Bobi Wine giving Mr. Simon Njala, who is a journalist, a masterclass in journalism, asking irrelevant questions and stupid questions. The only person who likes to be asked such questions is a gentleman known as President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, let me talk briefly about this journalist. I told you that this journalist was trying to get a viral moment like he had when he hosted one of the, the people who were advocating for homosexuality. And then he asked them, "Why are you gay?" So he got that viral moment on YouTube. And now he was trying to get another viral moment of Bobi Wine. And actually, Bobi Wine took him through a masterclass and put him where he's supposed to be. This same journalist, I've been monitoring him for a while. He is being used by people in the state to create questions for them, then share those questions with them, then afterwards they come and discuss those questions. And when he forgets some of the questions, the people in the state, they get to remind him on national TV that, "Hey, you didn't ask me this question. Can you please ask me this question?" Now, for those of you who think I'm lying, you know a lady called Amelia Chambade. Amelia Chambade, I think it was the beginning of last year when we had just entered lockdown. Then the government was giving out money to MPs. So Amelia Chambade realized that, oh, this was my moment to shine as an NRM candidate who has been very unpopular, chased by Ugandans in the diaspora when he went to come and make deals and steal money from investors in the diaspora. So Amelia Chambade had been chased and she's being unpopular and people are not going to vote her back again. She was a private secretary to Museveni and all this kind of thing. So Amelia Chambade is being hosted on national television. On this same television, decision to come and talk. Now, when the show was about to end, Simon Njala had forgotten the deal. That same host, he had forgotten the deal. So the guest, who is the Museveni stalwart, had to ask Simon Kagwanjara that, hey, please, you did ask me this question. Can you please ask me the question on national TV? And I'm not making this up. That is how Museveni, those are Museveni ministers. The minister asked the host of the show, the journalist, that, please, you did not ask me about COVID money. Ask me about the money. And the minister was trying to pretend, like, she had to tap him. Ask me about the COVID money. Ask me about the COVID money. So the gentleman clears the throat and he says, so, Madam Minister, how about the COVID funds? I've not got that clip, but I'll get it someday, and maybe I'll put it on my Facebook page. Madam Minister, how about the COVID funds? Are you going to take the COVID funds? And then the other lady also clears the throat. You see, I'm not going to take... Come on. That is the sort of journalist we have. The same journalist right now, he's discussing sexual issues of having sex when we have 4 days to the election. Really, don't you have something better to discuss? The only person who enjoys talking about sex at this time is President Museveni. We all know that Bobi Wine has been blackmailed with homosexuality, and that is absolutely not true. His family even had to leave. His son was dragged into this entire thing. There is 2 newspapers, online newspapers, of people who profess to be journalists that have been blackmailing Bobi Wine. The one paper is called Chimp Reports, and the other one is called The Red Paper. And thank God that Chimp Reports has been deleted off Facebook and Twitter. What these guys did was this. They wrote an article that Bobi Wine's son had been sodomized in one of the schools called St. Mary's College, Chisubi. And they said that Bobi Wine's son was engaging in homosexual activities. The son was even innocent. He had nothing to do with any of these things. But they got the son and dragged him into these things. And they said that the son was sodomized. A newspaper known as Chimp Reports, the other one is known as The Red Paper. They are the ones that were making this gossip around, trying to, blackmail Bobi Wine and sorts of things of that kind. Now, on the issue of homosexuality, we all know very well that whenever something is intense in the country, or whenever something is tense in Africa, any leader will bring about the issue of homosexuality. Yesterday, Museveni, when he was in a press conference, when they asked him, the lady never even brought about she never brought out the issue of homosexuality. That Lindsay lady of Channel 4. When Museveni was asked, he said Bobi Wine is being supported by foreigners, and he is also being supported by homosexuals. I am not a homosexual. I am living in a different country, if that is what Museveni means to be a foreigner. I am a foreigner and I do not support I'm not a homosexual. I'm a normal Ugandan like any other Ugandan. But Museveni always wants to drive the narrative into, homosexuality and LGBT issues and all that kind of thing. In Zimbabwe, the same thing happened. When Morgan Shangalai was taking Mugabe like nothing, in that election where it was very violent, Mugabe started concocting words that Morgan Shangalai was a homosexual and is being supported by homosexual and things of that sort. And I was like, really? Just because people do not know what is going on in these different African countries, they just come out and blackmail someone and say, okay, I don't know if I'm still on. They just come out, blackmail someone and say that, oh, so-and-so is a homosexual. And yet these people have families, these people have families, they have children, and so on and so forth, right? That issue of homosexuality in the country, Museveni only plays it when it suits him. He even said himself on national TV, he said yesterday on Channel 4, that I tolerate them. And he said that homosexuality, back then when he was being asked in different interviews, the president said that homosexuals have been in the country for a very long time. That is what he said. And he says that he has been tolerating them, and he tolerates them. That's what he said. And now, when things rage up, if at all the whites are trying to take away his aid and things like that, because they know that homosexuality is something that triggers, his donors. So when he mentions it, then the donors get triggered. You get it? But now the donors have understood that, look here, everyone in Uganda is being affected, whether gay or lesbian, whether Muslim or Catholic, whether Christian or Anglican, whether tribalistic or, sorry, whether religious or non-religious. When Museveni is killing people, he does not differentiate that, oh, okay, this one is a homosexual, this one is a Muslim, this one is a Christian. We are all suffering the same. That is what it is. That is what it is. So the issue of LGBT and the issue of homosexuality, only Museveni plays it when it suits him. Recently, they released the anti-gay bill, where Museveni was saying that all homosexuals should be killed in the country. And we saw, different human rights organizations coming up and so on and so forth. You know what happened? The bill was dropped. Because Museveni was using the bill as a pawn to get more donor money and to trigger his donors. Even people within his government, they say that these people, are supposed to have their rights. People like Bebe Cool. You ask, why isn't Bebe Cool not mentioning the issue of homosexuality? No. I want these journalists and everyone to ask Bebe Cool that anything to deal with LGBT issues. I want the journalists to ask Andrew Mwenda about LGBT issues. And these are staunch supporters of Museveni. Will you go and ask Bobi, why isn't Bebe Cool coming out with these words? Because we remember very well in 2016, it was Bebe Cool, Andrew Mwenda, who stood up and said, no. What people do in their beds should be their private business. Bebe Cool and Andrew Mwenda. Then why are they not asking them about the same issues? But they are planting journalists like this so-called Njala to come and trap Bobi Wine. So Bobi Wine actually got Njala and put him where he belongs. He put him where he belongs. He's like, if at all you are going to start mentioning such kind of things, I don't think I should be even coming back to this television. There are so many things that we should be discussing. Our brothers and sisters are being incarcerated and being put on trumped-up charges, being put before kangaroo courts. Today I saw a lady, she was pregnant, and one of her husbands was put in jail, and he is being put on trumped-up charges that he was having ammunitions. This is what is happening. And then this gentleman is coming up and asking Bobi Wine, tell us about the homosexuality and the so-called foreigners. Come on, that is a non-starter for a journalist like Njala. Those are the journalists that we have in Uganda. They will start asking you, okay, tell us, do you use a condom or not a condom? That is the sort of journalism that we have. We do not have any serious institution in the country today. The court martial is no longer serious. The lawyers are no longer, everything is broken. Everything is completely broken. Everyone is looking for money. Journalists are being paid to ask different, to ask certain questions, to trap opponents of the state, and to ask questions that the supporters of the state have already rehearsed. That is why they come with their own questions in the studios and tell the host, hey, ask me this question. Ask me this question. Really? We have been campaigning for all this time. You have not been bringing about the issue of homosexuality and so-called foreign aid. Why are you bringing it up now? Why do you bring up that issue now? Just for... That is why this guy actually even failed. This same Kagwanjara contested to be an MP in Busiro South. Is it Busiro East? He failed. The people of Busiro rejected him. He's a political failure. He has failed in journalism. He's he's just being used by politicians. It is so unfortunate that he's just being used by politicians. He's the gentleman who has made all the bad decisions in his life. And what I'm doing today is not trying to lambast or blast the gentleman, but I'm trying to make him, understand that if at all he decides to be employed under a state propaganda machine, then if that is the course he has chosen, good for him. But we shall put him under scrutiny, because this is not journalism. Because you are looking for a viral moment, because you're looking to become viral again, just like you were viral a few years ago. Why don't you ask those same questions to these so-called Bebe Cools? Because now Bebe Cool has become a political pundit. The people that are being hosted to talk about the issue of Uganda, it is people like Moses Sari. Pundits, those are the pundits that they are having. Absolutely ridiculous. These are people who have made all the wrong choices in their lives. Who are a disaster. They do not inspire any Ugandan, but they are the people that they are bringing up to speak about politics in Uganda. Why don't you ask Bebe Cool about the same issue? Why don't you ask Andrew Mwenda about the same issue? We know these things. Museveni has been getting money Because you cannot say today you will take American money, $1 billion US, and then the next day you say, no, that Bobi Wine gets support from the gays. Well, the American government has a policy. I mean, they respect human rights and they respect the LGBT people. Why don't you stop taking the American money? Why don't you stop taking European Union money? If at all you do not want anything to deal with LGBT, because it comes as a package. But people do not comprehend, people do not think. Because if any African dictator, let me tell you, for those of you who are fighting dictators and tyrannies and tyrannical regimes and authoritarian guys, when they start mentioning foreigners, when they start mentioning gays and lesbians and LGBTQ, when they start mentioning weed, the so-called drugs and so on and so forth, just know that that person no longer has anything to provide for a nation, but they are only using these words in order to ramp up or to rev up to trigger. Those are trigger words for most African countries. You find these so-called Pan-Africanists and so on and so forth. They start saying, okay, now they start mentioning homosexuality. They mention aid. They start mentioning white people. They start mentioning such kind of things. Those are trigger words. But this generation, what it wants is freedom. However much you will mention your trigger words, as long as you are still killing people, for me, I'm not going to support you. That is the truth. Because now, which one is worse? A person is waking up every morning, killing people left, right, and center. And then afterwards, he comes and say, oh, no. This one is taking marijuana. He's a drug addict. Where is the evidence that the person is a drug addict? Absolutely none. So, that is one of the journalists, and the journalist was put in his position where he belongs, and I don't think that he will ever do it again, because Bobi Wine was really furious. I've never seen Bobi Wine furious, but his friends have been arrested. The Eddie Mutwes are behind bars. Their families, they don't know where they are even going to get what to eat. Nubian Lee is being arrested. His wife has just given birth. A lot of pregnant mothers are out there. And then you're bringing issues to deal with homosexuality? Really, at this point, at this juncture in time? Issues to deal with foreigners? To a gentleman that you know very well that a gentleman has a family and a wife? Shame on you, Kagwanjara. And the entire NBS propaganda tool. Away from there. Now, you all know that the battle, ever since Bobi Wine started, has been on Facebook. And not Facebook per se, but social media and the internet. I've always told Ugandans, Uganda has 17 million users. That is corresponding to the number of people corresponding to the number of voters. 17 million internet users in Uganda. Now, out of those, at least I think 4.5 million are on social media. That means that these people use either Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and all these other medias of all these other mediums. Now, the battle has been there. In 2017-16 there, President Museveni came out and said that Facebook had become a ground of lugambo or gossip. That is Museveni for you. He said these mediums had become a ground of gossip, that people were gossiping so much and talking this, talking that. So what he decided to do was to put a tax on social media. In Uganda, we are taxed to use Facebook. We are taxed to use Twitter. So they tax you, and then afterwards they say, no, you're not supposed to say anything. Actually, they double tax us. It is double taxation. The first person who came out to fight the social media tax, as well as the mobile money tax, because Ugandans, we are being taxed on mobile money, or what you call M-Pesa in Kenya, and what you call, I don't know what you call it in West Africa, if you are watching from West Africa, but you have the system where you send money on a phone, and then you receive that money on the phone. They taxed us twice, because number one, when you buy data, you're being taxed on that airtime, right? That what we call data, or MBs. You're being taxed. So on top of that, the government instilled another tax that every day you are supposed to pay 200 shillings. That is almost, I think, 0.5 cents or 0.5 cents. Now, you might say that 0.5 cents is not so much money for Ugandans. Or it's not so much money. For you, you might hear it's not so much money. Now compare that to a person that we have even people who go, spend an entire day without earning a dollar. Like they go without meals in the country. So 0.5 cents is a lot of money to lots of Ugandans. They cannot afford. And yet you have already taxed them on airtime, and then you are taxing them again on data, and then you are instilling a social media tax on top of that. Like taxing them triple times. So Bobi Wine, that is when he came out and he said, this is unfair, this is not acceptable. He's the first person who came and protested against social media tax, against mobile money tax, because it affected a local or a Ugandan down there. Museveni's argument for taxing or introducing this tax is to reduce or to stop Lugambo, the so-called gossip, on social media. So what happened was Bobi Wine protested the tax, like I've explained. Now, they thought that they were winning. What happened was this. Ugandans always find a way. These .com era kids, they will always find a way. At times I feel so sad that I don't want to get old. That when I get to Museveni's age, these kids, our great-grandchildren or our grandchildren, we always find a way on how to beat the system. That is how things are. And whenever you make things tighter, the more they will find ways. So the guys who have never used the VPNs in their life, all of a sudden we are forced to use VPNs. People in Uganda, we are forced to use the VPNs. In their first year of introducing that tax on mobile money as well as social media, the government actually lost a lot of revenue. That people were no longer using airtime. People were no longer spending so much on data. People were no longer spending so much on airtime. People were using their airtime sparingly, and also using things like VPN. So they found a way. So they started using VPN. So the government was like, okay, VPN still you use it, but it will slow down your network. Meaning that your network will be a bit slower, which is good for us. You see, like when you go to China, China has a way of controlling their internet. They make it so slow that you cannot even send a message on WhatsApp. That's how China does their thing. So Museveni copied the same thing. Whenever you see an African country that is instilling these taxes on social media as well as on mobile money, they do not want dissent. That is a trigger. That is a sign that these people are not up to anything good. So Bobi Wine comes up and challenges the tax. Fast forward, by then Bobi Wine was still an MP. Things blow up. In the end, things blow up. And now people say, if Bobi Wine has fought for this tax, every person in the world loves someone who fights against unfair taxes. This is where Bobi Wine saw the opportunity. And they said, this gentleman should be our president. Because we are unfairly taxed. We can no longer post on Instagram. We can no longer post on Facebook. I can no longer send my mother money. Whenever I sent my mom money, MTN would deduct some money, as well as AfriCell. But now the government still has to deduct some money, and again MTN still deduct money from me. I was very furious. So that is what Bobi Wine fought for. He fought for that, for me. Even for the people in the NRM. So, fast forward, people saw, oh, this one is a liberator. So we saw it, this should be our president. And that is when it kicked off. The campaign started on social media. Instantly. And then people started doing blogs. People started talking this, talking that, talking this, talking that. By-elections come up. Social media. When by-elections come up, Bobi Wine wins different by-elections for different candidates. Then he goes to Arua. Bang. An attempted assassination on his life. His driver is killed. Oh, they had just opened the Pandora's box. Now, for some of us who were not so active, we went active, like, what do you call that mode? I don't know what I can call that mode, but like a turbo, the turbo. It went like, woo, turbo, and that's where we are even up to now. People started activism. People started getting involved. People all of a sudden started seeing things that they have never seen. People started wanting to know more. What is going on in my country? What is going on in Uganda? What? How? So what happens is Bobi Wine conquers the entire media space. He conquered the entire social media. He conquered the entire Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. In Uganda, if you're following anything Ugandan, you will see read every day. He becomes the most Googled person in the country. He becomes the most searched person in the country. All of a sudden, every day, every single day, every single time, a newspaper has to write something about Bobi Wine, about NUP. No other person they write about. Every day, they write about him. Because the newspapers realized without writing about Bobi Wine, they are not going to make money. TV stations realized without covering Bobi Wine, people are not going to watch their programs. And without posting Bobi Wine on their social media handles, they are not going to get traction. And if they do not have the audience, it means the advertisers are going to run away. That is why you see in Uganda today, we have different pages that can have 10,000 viewers at one single moment. And then you go to Museveni's page and he has 3 viewers. And all of these viewers, it has been realized that Facebook has realized all of these people have been bots. They have been fake accounts. I'm giving you all this history coming to the issue of the Facebook ban. So I'm going to round it up and then come to the points that I'm trying to explain. So, then these people said, no, people power is just on Facebook, it's just on Twitter. They are not on ground. No one knows Bobi Wine in the corners of Uganda. No one knows Bobi Wine in Western Uganda and so on and so forth. We laughed. We are like, okay, no one knows us. Let us wait for the campaigns. When the campaigns started 2 months ago, I mean, everyone was overwhelmed. They thought no one was going to turn up. They absolutely thought no one was going to turn up. I was going to ask these people, do you call Bobi Wine Bariamuleba? You think he is in the same category as Bariamuleba? Really? Are you people even serious? Hold on. So you think Bobi Wine is in the same category as such people? Okay. So after a while, they realized that. Hold on, guys. After a while, they realized that actually Bobi Wine is on ground as well as social media. There is a very good quote that I always use whenever I'm explaining this narrative. That there is one of Bobi Wine followers on Facebook said that social media ground is so covered with people power that there is no way you can even put a post about Museveni or anything else. That if you dare put anything that does not concern liberation of Uganda, that does not concern Bobi Wine, you're most likely either to be ignored or to receive a huge backlash. That is how intense things got. That there is nowhere you could even be able to put a post somewhere there. You know, like when you're looking for a space and, okay, there's a space here, maybe let me put something there. None. Everyone was cornered in. Now, these people realized that, look here, guys, we have lost ground, we have lost social media. What do? We make an attack on all these accounts. They started hacking all our accounts. They hacked Echoto, they hacked Ghetto Media, they hacked Orujuliro, they hacked people's accounts. So many accounts were taken down. Worth of videos, data, and so on and so forth. 4 years of work, everything. These guys hacked our accounts and deleted them. They did not stop there. The government of Uganda wrote to YouTube as well as Facebook, telling them, actually they first wrote to Facebook and YouTube a couple of months ago to take down our accounts, that we had incited violence. When YouTube looked into the matter, they said that you actually have to go to courts of law and get a court order. They failed to get a court order, so they came and started hacking our accounts and deleting them. So we kept quiet, because for us we are non-violent. And we are quiet people, law-abiding. So what we did, we just opened up new ones, new accounts and new pages. I came out and told people that these people, this is a state-sponsored kind of hacking that is taking place. Bobi Wine himself came up, he did an interview with The Guardian, and he told the people that these guys are actually spying on us. They are spying on me. They're using malicious malicious software to track my phones, to track my movements. So Bobi Wine also came up. He has to always travel with 6 phones. He sends one phone there, one phone here, and then he keeps them off track. I came here and explained to you Operation Fungua Macho, how the state was using, with the help of the Chinese and some other company, that they were using to spy on opposition politicians. So state surveillance is something that is going on in the country. So long story short, they deleted our accounts. We kept quiet and sat back, opened new ones and continued with the work. You know what happened? Now, of recent, I did a video saying that these people, all of a sudden, I think 2 days ago, we woke up and NRM accounts were gone. After a while I was on Facebook, you know when you enter Facebook and you wake up in the morning and open up the phone and scroll through Facebook and Twitter, and you feel that fresh air. You don't see any sort of negativity. You feel something like, oh, there's too much space here. Like you feel that you can just sit back, relax, like you're in a bath or a jacuzzi or something, and relax. That's what it felt like. Very, very nice. Like, so Facebook was so calm. So nice. Then I realized, wait, there are some people I cannot find. Because from here I go to NRM accounts and see what they are up to. So I looked at one account, couldn't find it. I looked at another one, I couldn't find it. Looked at another one, couldn't find this one, couldn't find that one. I'm like, where are these guys? I was even about to call them to see, like, you guys, what is happening? And then I saw, Chimp Reports is also gone. A state right-wing newspaper propaganda machine is also gone. Now, I was like, okay, this is serious. At first, I thought that maybe these guys had deleted their own accounts so that they can squeeze Museveni and get money out of him. That is what I thought. And in my first video, that is the narrative that I was moving with, because I wasn't sure that actually Facebook was taking them down. But then all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute. These people have actually been taken down. Facebook today has released a statement about the same. Let me get the statement here. Let me get the statement that Facebook has said. So that is the statement. Facebook has said that Facebook has confirmed in a statement to Quaz Africa that it carried out a purge. It carried out the purge because the affected individuals and groups were using the platform to manipulate voters ahead of the elections. The tech giant says it is constantly working to find and put an end to coordinated campaigns that seek to manipulate public debate on the platform through what it calls coordinated inauthentic behavior, CIB. They also said, in a statement, Facebook spokesperson of Sub-Saharan Africa, she said, this month we removed a network of accounts and pages in Uganda that engaged in CIB to target public debate ahead of the election. They used fake and duplicate accounts to manage pages, comment on other people's content, impersonate users, reshare posts in groups to make them appear more popular than they were. The operation says that the Facebook says that operation was linked to the Government Citizen Interaction Center, GCIC, at Uganda's Ministry of Information and Communications Technology. Duncan Abigaba, the manager at the center, was among the first officials to cry foul about Facebook's move. Okay, one thing. Wait for it. Let me. All right. I needed to give that big laugh because you see, there's something called the Cobra effect. You know, Cobra effect is when you try to solve a particular problem and then create a much bigger problem for yourself. And I think this is what NRM exactly did. They decided to come after our accounts, delete them, then afterwards what happened, whenever the government, whenever these tech giants refused to delete their accounts, these guys resorted to hacking. They thought that Facebook was stupid. So, when we woke up today, the people are unemployed. They are completely unemployed. 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 That's what they are. Now, I'll break down one by one of the people that I've been following. Now, there is this organization called GCIC, Government Interaction So-Called Center, headed by that gentleman known as Duncan Yarigaba. It is a propaganda tool that has been used by this gentleman to abuse and make sure that they get they propagate propaganda all over the place. The Ministry of ICT and the UCC have been in collaboration to hack our accounts. I told you they were using Chinese. They have an organization known as NRM Soma, NRM Social Media Activists, that sit somewhere and start creating multiple accounts and bots and go on Museveni's live videos and they start watching them. They watch Museveni's live videos. Then afterwards, they report our accounts in unison. They coordinate and report our accounts. So many of them, they coordinate and jump onto an account. They report it, it gets deleted. Then they come and comment on Museveni's posts. They comment abusing Bobi Wine. They come here while I'm doing my live videos and they comment. And you're like, how come these people are doing these things? Now, Chimp Reports has been an online newspaper. It has been in existence for like, I think, 6 years. Now, the gentleman has been getting his traffic from Facebook. Now, Facebook has lastly taken him off. That guy, known as Mohammed, has been abusing Bobi Wine, abusing NUP, people power, and praising how Museveni is killing people, and praising the Lion of Mogadishu, and such kind of things. That gentleman, he calls himself a journalist. All of a sudden, bang, out of business. Whenever you see a Chimp Reports article, report. That's it. Because he has been getting his traffic on Facebook, he's now out of business completely. Because that's where they get the traffic. Never throw stones when you live in a glass house. Right? Never throw stones to a person when you're living in a glass house. You attacked Bobi Wine, what is hitting you? You don't even know where it comes from. These people are saying that it is people power that reported them to Facebook. For us, we do not have to report you to Facebook to know what you're doing. Most of you were even calling for the murder of Bobi Wine's children. We are calling for the murder of Bobi Wine's wife. All of a sudden, in just a second, over 12 people are unemployed. Look here, guys, I like this topic so much because these people I have been following, they have been abusing us. They have been abusing Bobi Wine. They have been abusing his wife, his family, saying he drinks what? Oh my God. The abuse that has been unleashed on the guy. I was wondering, why has Facebook taken so long? What took you so long? What took you so long? Okay. I'm so excited. Sorry for being a bit uncoordinated, but I'm excited because these accounts were deleted. And I know what it means when Facebook deletes you. You cannot open up a new one. They take over your IP, they take over your images, they take over your voices, they take over even the way you write. Now, unfortunately, most of these people are uneducated. Amongst this entire group, especially those so-called bloggers that you know, you guys, the bloggers that you know, leave alone the Muhammads, the Duncans, those ones are the educated class. Now, there is this other informal class of people who have been using too much Uganda. Now, that class also, the problem with them is that, unfortunately, they are uneducated. Some of them tried Twitter. In just 2 days, they left because they couldn't keep up with English. And because Twitter has less characters, they had to quit. They had to quit Twitter. And because they don't know how to use, Twitter's live videos, they also gave up with Twitter. Most of them. So, amongst that group, the most educated, I think he finished I think he stopped in senior 5. Amongst that group, the most educated in that informal group stopped in senior 5. So today they held a press conference saying that, Mr. Museveni, please shut down the entire Facebook and Twitter because they shut us down. Look here. My uneducated brothers, I'm also uneducated, I would say. Facebook is a multi-billion company. They just shut down Trump's account, right? Trump has the Trump Towers and everything. He's one of the most powerful people in the world. He's one of the most richest, he's rich compared to Ugandan standards. They took down his accounts. How much money do you guys contribute to Uganda's economy? How much money do you pay for data? The government has been giving you free data, and now you're talking about banning the government because they've banned you, the uneducated ones. And you know what? This is where you see Museveni that he is really, really low in terms of thinking and in terms of understanding. He might decide to make a blanket ban on Facebook, just because a few of his people were kicked off that do not even pay any taxes. Now, all of a sudden, these people have been denied the mic. They have nowhere to speak. They have nowhere to talk. Now, we want you guys to feel it. When you hack people's accounts and take them off, that is what it feels like. Now, all of a sudden, no one knows what is going on in the world of these people. You know that sort of hate, where people are so hateful that they start attacking someone's family that is even innocent. And you don't have anything good to say about those people. Why would you attack Bobi Wine's kids? Why would you start posting their address? Why would you do that, honestly? And showing the address where the kids are being taken. What kind of fools are these? You deserved it. You deserved it. And I'm so happy. I've never been so happy. But I've been happy the whole day. Because this sort of negativity, this sort of people who have been all the time saying, ha, Bobi Wine this, Bobi Wine that, gossiping all the time, abusing, using all sorts of vulgar language. Now, what are you going to tell Museveni? All of a sudden, you are not powerful as he thought. Now, this is what they have decided. They are going to use the NRM account as well as Museveni's account. That is where they are going to blog from. That is the day I will realize that we have one of the most crazy leader in the country. If Museveni gives these people the account, the good thing is not the presidential account. It is his personal account, so he has a right to give them the account. It is only in Bobi Wine's government that we shall have to create an account for the president of Uganda. P-O-U. Paul. Yeah, president of Uganda. President of the Republic of Uganda. Poru. Yeah, P-O-R-U. Museveni has his own personal account. It has over 1 million users. So they can go and blog. If Museveni wants them so much, that, okay, if their message was so good that the world is now missing out on the message, let NRM and Museveni give them their accounts and then they start posting on those accounts. If the message was so good, what they were telling the world, to go and kill Bobi Wine's children, to go and kill Bobi Wine's parents, Bobi Wine's, supporters, let Museveni give them his account as well as NRM. Let them give them their account to blog from there. They wake up every day. They don't do any job. They are failures. They made the wrong decisions in the world. The only reason they are being paid is to come and abuse people and supporters, to come and watch Museveni's live videos and comment on his posts and share his posts in different groups. So Facebook was wise. They tracked down, why are they hacking people power supporters? So they found out, oh, in the Ministry of ICT, that is where the entire thing is coming from. That is where they are hacking Ugandans from. The entire thing comes from the Ministry of ICT. Shame on you guys. Really shame on you people. You are absolutely a disgrace to our country that you can go this low. Come after Mayanja. Come after Gated Media. These people do not have anything in this world. And you go after them. You people are so scared. The way you are scared is really, I mean, the internet always wins. The internet will always win. It is undefeated. Whatever it is, whatever you're planning, guys, in the world, plan it around the internet. That's it. Plan it around the internet. Because the sort of, you know, in the 60s, post-independence, it was the gun that was mighty. And then there's a time people said, oh, the gun is mighty, but the pen is mightier. You know, nah, that doesn't work. The internet is mighty, is mightier, and it is undefeated. No one is going to, I don't see anything going to defeat the internet, surely. Even people have guns, but they can no longer use their guns on the internet. Only that the internet is exposing their stupidity. Now, going back to these people before I finish them, it is likely that most of these people are going to, as we speak right now, they're unemployed because they were paid to support to spread the information that is false and abuse Bobi Wine. But now all of a sudden they have nowhere to abuse him from. One of them was crying today. He said that, no, I opened up another account, they deleted it. I opened up a second one, they deleted it. I opened up a third one, they deleted it. I opened up a fourth one, they deleted it. So they came up today and they were in a line, in a queue, and everyone was talking about their experience and how frustrated they are. That Facebook is so peaceful now, that no one is there spreading hate, no one is there spreading violence and trying to threaten Ugandans. No one. All of a sudden, these people are unemployed. Unemployed. My God. Is that how you can lose a job? If Museveni hired you to abuse people, and then you don't even have a you don't even have a Facebook page, you don't even have a Facebook profile, and yet you were hired for a Facebook profile, of what use are you? Oh my God. Maybe Museveni will give you he will share the account with you, make you managers on his page. That's if he likes you very much. We shall see about that. Well, on the other hand, as you know, when Bobi Wine was, our pages, when they were deleted, especially Ghetto Media, that is Bobi Wine's official channel that, transmits whatever he's doing, he gave them the platform. He shared their work on his page. He encouraged the people to go and follow the page. Museveni, it is now 3 days, he hasn't encouraged the people to go and follow his friends that have been deleted. He hasn't encouraged the people. It is like it is not even happening. He's keeping quiet about the whole thing. He was caught red-handed, hacking into Facebook, an American company. It is a gross crime. It is a crime to hack into another, because this is espionage. This is espionage when you go and hack into an American company as a state. Not as an individual, as a state. If a state hacks into another state, that is state espionage. It is espionage. It is just like Iran hacking into the US or US hacking into Iran. That is a cause for national security. Because if you can hack into Facebook, it means that you can take it down. And if it is state-sponsored by the Russians, by the Chinese, trust me, it is bad news for all these people. Wiping you off the face of Facebook, it is the least punishment you are going to get. But now you're blacklisted. FBI's most wanted list, FBI, you can no longer travel out of Uganda, especially because now whenever they get any of those people, you are going to be put on handcuffs on any airport. Tumwebaze, Duncan Yabigaba, those people who are working for Museveni in those accounts, they now have your identity. Anywhere you surface, you're going to be put on cuffs. Trust me, they are taking you down. Because you hacked. You guys, you see, when you try to forge an American currency, if you forge the dollars, that is the property of the United States of America. And if they catch you forging that currency in any country, they have a right to deport you and take you to America and prosecute you from there. So, you hacked into Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, you have spoiled your future before it has even started. I saw one of the ladies, she went to Twitter to try out. She said, "Oh, isn't there Twitter in Luganda?" Facebook had made it a routine to always translate our local language into English. So most of these bloggers of Museveni had made it a business of themselves to post in a local language, and then Facebook translates. Now, one of the ladies, she has just given birth and she gave birth and gave her son the name of Museveni. So she went on Twitter to try out to open an account. And when she reached on Twitter, before she could write a sentence to abuse, people power supporters there, because Luganda uses too many words. She went through all the characters, the 140 characters, before she could even make a sentence. Or before she could even make sense of what she was saying. So Twitter was a non-starter, so she had to quit. And it is a coordinated effort between Facebook and Twitter to make sure that they monitor these accounts. because these accounts have been deleting they have been infiltrating and hacking into their platforms. That is why you see some people are deleted off Twitter, and these ones have been deleted off Facebook. So now they are crying all over the place. We thought that you guys were the ones that wanted to put social media tax and stop Lugambo, the so-called gossip. So now why are you crying? And now you're saying foreigners, foreigners. No, 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 no. This was your own doing. So you face the music. Whereas we go to vote and give people updates on what is going on, just step back, get your friend's phone or your mother's phone or your sister's phone, and you watch from their phones or from their TV sets. As we count the votes, Bobi Wine, Bobi Wine, Bobi Wine, Bobi Wine, Chagulani, 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 Chagulani. Oh no, Bobi Wine, Bobi Wine, Bobi Wine, Bobi Wine, Chagulani, Chagulani, Chagulani. Museveni. Oh no, this is an invalid vote for Museveni. This person ticked the vote but abused Bobi Wine, so the vote is invalid. Bobi Wine, Bobi Wine, Chagulani, Chagulani, Chagulani. So you just sit back, learn how it feels to watch your opponent doing what they do best when you cannot interrupt or abuse me or do anything to me or report my video. That is what it means. Enough of the rant. On a serious note, I'm so happy that these people are now unemployed. But on a serious note, as people power supporters, we should endeavor to do good as we have always done. We have always kept calm. We have always been anti-violent. We have always followed the rules, even if they are unfair. And let me tell you, we have only managed to reach here because of our calmness. That is why we are here. Because people have seen how unfair the government has treated people power supporters and Bobi Wine supporters. We are being chased off television stations. We are being chased off TV stations. We cannot hold Larrys. We cannot hold Larrys. If you wear any people power paraphernalia, you're being arrested for just even wearing a red cape or having something red on your body. That is what is happening. And maybe this is the way of how God fights back. This is how it is. Because we have really been treated unfairly in our country. And because we have always been calm, we have always kept our cool, and the people fighting our battles, we don't even know where they are fighting the battles from. But they are not even fighting our battles, but they are doing what is just right. You cannot deny someone the right to speak and say what they want and what they are going to do for Ugandans. And for you, you are given all media platforms. You have a right to campaign. You have a right to do whatever you want. You have a right to manipulate everything. And your opponent doesn't have that right. And you think that the world will still be looking on and not do anything? Well, everyone is accountable in this day and age. You see, in the 60s and 70s and post-colonial era, in the early 90s, Museveni would be given arms to go and fight the rebels. But then the rebels wouldn't be given the opportunity to defend themselves. In this day and age, the things have changed. Everyone has access to the internet. Whatever access you have is the same I have. But if you try to cheat, using multiple accounts to watch your own videos, to comment on your own posts, it will catch up with you. Just like it's going to catch up with you in the elections. You have cheated for enough time. And now, Ugandans, it is time to pay back. Let us go and vote these people out of power. Let us go and vote them out of power. There is no better gift that we can give the people of Uganda and the entire world. Let us go and vote. We can make it. If these people can be kicked off Facebook, if these people can be silenced, who thought Museveni could be silenced? He's looking for where to use his guns. He can't even use his guns. The cameras are all over the place. You don't know who is filming. And whatever is being filmed, it will end up in the eyes of Ugandans. Whoever said that the gun was mighty, he lied. He lied. He completely lied. It is the cameras now and the internet. We no longer live in the dark. For those of you who are following the Ugandan experiment, by now you should understand that the cameras and the internet is the way to go. If you're fighting any tyranny or any authoritarian, however restrictions, however, and let me tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, before I wind it up on this point. Museveni is lucky that people are fighting in broad daylight. There is nothing that Ugandans are hiding. Our opposition to Museveni is public. So that he doesn't have anything to say that, oh, you, I know you are a rebel. Oh, you, I know you are trying to oppose my government in secret. No. We come out in public and oppose publicly. Because if we go underground, he will have justification to eliminate each one of us one by one, one by one, one by one. That is why you see in the 90s, liberation struggles in Africa were very bloody. You could easily be called a rebel today and taken out the next day. But today everything is public, that everyone knows Bobi Wine is opposing Museveni. So what are you going to do? Everyone knows. Now the problem is this, that any African leader who tries to take Museveni's approach is going to end up in the same position. If you try to pressurize this, if you try to stop people from talking about these issues, if you try people to take away their freedoms of speech, if you try to stop, if you stop creating an environment where ideas can be shared, these ideas will go underground. And when people start going underground and you cannot see what they are doing, what takes you will take you as a surprise. Museveni is lucky that we are taking him out, and he has what do you call it? He has time to prepare for his exit. That is what is advantageous to Museveni, that we have been public and it has given him time to prepare how he should leave the country after we have cast our vote on the 14th of January. By 15th, he should be having an exit plan. But if people go underground, my friend, what takes you? You cannot know. If people go underground there, whatever they are planning, your next bodyguard will be the one who will take you out. Dizere Kabila, that's what happened. If people go underground, you don't know what they are planning. You're working in the dark. You're like, oh, what is he doing? What is he doing? Oh, what is he planning now? Oh, what can I do? That is bloody. But let people share ideas. Let people take the steam off. Let people campaign. Let people go to Larry's. They will go to Larry's and go back home. You open up debate, but Museveni even refused to debate Bobi Wine. He was afraid. Because he would end up saying homosexuals and foreigners. That's the only thing. He was afraid. No exchange of ideas. "14th, go and vote." Okay, so lastly, I want to talk about the gentleman known as Wole Soyinka and what he said about Bobi Wine and Ugandans. So just let me get the article here. For those of you who know Wole Soyinka, I think some of you might have missed what he said on on Bobi Wine, but I'll get you the article here, and then maybe try to read out to you and show that Bobi Wine is not only for Uganda but the entire world, and like you guys can see. All right, so so that is Wole Soyinka. Most of you, I think, know him, especially for those of you who did English literature in high school. Those of you who did English and literature, most of you must have used his books. So, so in an article by Quaz Africa, it says that author and playwright Wole Soyinka, author, playwright, and poet. Hold on, is my sound on? Especially for those of you who did. All right. Author, playwright, and poet Wole Soyinka has long been forthright about African democracy, especially in his home country of Nigeria. He has spoken up against the military juntas and civilian autocrats alike, showcasing the eloquence you would expect from Africa's first Nobel laureate in literature, an honor he received in 1986. That's the gentleman there. The 86-year-old, hold on, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, aka Bobi Wine, is the Ugandan pop star turned elected member of parliament who is now in the thorn of Museveni's side as the leader of opposition challenge buoyed by millions of Ugandans. Bobi Wine, this is what Wole Soyinka said. Bobi Wine, for me right now, represents the face of democracy for Africa, says Wole Soyinka, speaking from Lagos. Perhaps the surest sign Bobi Wine may be a credible threat to Museveni's rule is how brutally the administration has dealt with the 30-year-old politician and his supporters. In November, more than 50 people were killed after the opposition supporters protested the arrest of Bobi Wine and other opposition leaders. Soyinka says he has been watching Bobi Wine, from whom he met in Nigeria in October 2019 for a while now. Even before we met, Soyinka says, even before we met, I had taken an interest in his movement. Had taken an interest in his movement, his candidature, and his passion. I share it. I share every bit of it, says Soyinka. Despite being an octogenarian himself, the professor says he's fed up with Africa's leadership of sick old men. Museveni, who is Africa's third longest ruler, claimed victory in 5 elections since 1986. I share it. I share every bit of it. Oh, sorry guys, I was just monitoring my sound. Alright, Soyinka's history with Uganda dates back to the 1970s when he joined protests against the tyrannical rule of the President Idi Amin. Indeed, Museveni first came to prominence also by opposing Amin, but as a young military rebel leader. Soyinka said again, we just have to ask Museveni to stop terrorizing Ugandans, to stop terrorizing Ugandan people, to stop behaving even worse than Amin, against who we all rose. Soyinka says, I met Museveni during the fight against Sani Abacha, former Nigerian military dictator. At the time we met, it was still possible to consider him a democratic leader. Today, he has joined the gang, the enemies of society. Soyinka, like other prominent opposition figures, is speaking up on Bobi Wine's behalf, in part to raise awareness of his own numerous arrests by the government forces. At one point in 2018, Soyinka and others feared he would be kept in prison indefinitely after photos emerged of his injuries. There is another link between Bobi Wine and Soyinka, Fela Kuti, the late Nigerian Afrobeat legend, who was the first cousin to Soyinka. Bobi Wine first met Soyinka in Lagos at the annual Fela Belation event organized by the Kuti family. One of Bobi Wine's influential international allies or supporters is Ricky Stein, who managed Fela in 1980s. Fela died in 1997 and is best known for his his activist music. Also formed the political party in 1979. Blah 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 blah. Lastly, Soyinka said, whoever champions the principle of democracy, I back that individual, he says. Whoever opposes it, especially in a brutal way that doesn't even think of the future, that degrades the humanity on behalf of whom such a political principle is being expressed, that person is for me an enemy of humanity, not just society. What is Soyinka? So what is Soyinka? What he's trying to say is that Museveni is an enemy of humanity because he opposes democracy, and he also likens Bobi Wine as the face of democracy in the entire African continent. Like you have seen in the article, Wole Soyinka is one of those people who stood up against the rule of Idi Amin and opposed Idi Amin. Just imagine all those miles away from Nigeria, getting to know what is happening in the country Uganda. Uganda has a very good connection, by the way. There's a big connection between Uganda and Nigeria in one way or the other. We have been using Nigerian books for a while now in our curriculum and English literature, as well as I think Kenyan books, which is really interesting. But that is not the point. The point is, Soyinka says that Bobi Wine is now the face of democracy in Africa. Recently, we saw Bobi Wine making travels, the past couple of years, being invited by Nelson Chamisa in Zimbabwe to attend one of the events that was there. He was one of the chief guests. He has been in South Africa and attended different partners. Mr. Malema has spoken high praise of Bobi Wine. He was selected to go and represent or talk about music and politics on Mama Awards. That is all African, movements here and there. He was in I think Ghana for some event there as well. Then he was in the Fela Belation event to celebrate the life of Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti is a very interesting person who sang a song called Zombie. The song that was called Zombie actually led the government of Nigeria at the time, the military dictatorship of Nigeria, to kill Fela Kuti's mother. Kuti's mother paid the price for Kuti's music. He sang a song called Zombie that was attacking the Nigerian military. And in the end, Kuti, they killed his mother. That's what happened, man. So, Kuti is also related. Fela Kuti is related to Wole Soyinka. And then you see like that kind of connection in one way or the other. So Bobi Wine's inspiration does not only stop in Uganda, but he's actually inspiring the entire African continent, which is really, really interesting, because for a very long time we haven't had such kind of people who could stand up against these sick old men of Africa, just like Wole Soyinka describes them. He has also made international tours to different parts of the world. He has been to Jamaica. He met the Prime Minister in Jamaica, who also held Bobi Wine in high praise. Made a song with renowned reggae artists known as Buju Banton. They did a track together and also performed in Kenya. He has actually been invited to go and speak in Kenya when Museveni went to Kenya after Bobi Wine. You see, Bobi Wine is wise. Museveni is reactive. What do you call it? Proactive? Bobi Wine is proactive, Museveni is reactive. Bobi Wine went to Zimbabwe. Museveni invited this gentleman called who is that gentleman who is the president now in Zimbabwe? Emerson Mnangagwa. He invited Mnangagwa and gave him a prize, that he gave him one of those medals, a Ugandan medal, a high medal in Uganda. He gave it to Mnangagwa when Bobi Wine went to Zimbabwe, and then they tried even to stop him and arrest him, which is interesting. When Bobi Wine went to Kenya, Museveni also went to Kenya. When he went to speak amongst a group of individuals, they booed him. When Bobi Wine was arrested, Ghana rose up, Kenya rose up, and different other countries on the continent rose up to speak in unison against this sick old man, as Wole Soyinka describes him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me today. I think I have gone over the time, but it's been not a so good day, but a day where we can celebrate at least these NRM guys have been taken off. And that is another win. But the biggest win should come on the 14th of February, 2021. Please endeavor to go and vote. Get your national IDs, get everything that you need. Do not forget your mask. Go and vote. Then afterwards, move out of the voting premises, stand on the roadside or stand in a distance, hold your camera, see anything unusual, take a picture, make sure you download your YouVote app, make sure you download the YouVote app, and you're ready to take a picture of the DRR forms and things of that sort. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me today. Let us meet tomorrow and same time and try to address the updates that are taking place in the country until we reach that day of 14th of February. God willing, we shall be victors by the 15th. Have a great